Your little hand goes up. Welcome, everyone, cool kids and friends, to another episode of the Bobbi Jo and Sheena Show. Two mindset coaches here just solving the world's problems. Not really. So, one day at a time, one thought at a time, here we go. I told you I'd come to the story about how self love can heal us. I heard this story a few weeks ago and I thought it was really touching. I'll say it really quick. Back in the 1980s, a woman was in her 30s, a nurse, and coming down with an illness that nobody could diagnose. And it reduced her so much that she was in a wheelchair. And it was months and months and months and months before they could diagnose her. And they diagnosed her with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And if you don't know that, it's basically your body just being eaten away till you can't move, and finally your lungs, and you die. Well, they gave her six. By the time they figured it out, she had 6 months to live. And as the man was telling the story, he said, she asked herself, well, what is it in my life that I want to do in these 6 months? And I'm thinking travel, bucket list, all these things. And she said she wanted to learn how to love herself. So what she did every day, 3 times a day for 20 minutes a day, she set a timer because it was the hardest thing ever. She went in front of a mirror with her body all just in shambles the way it was in the wheelchair, and she just learned to look right at herself. We talked about this last Friday, the man in the mirror. And she learned to just love herself and look at herself and love herself. 20 minutes up, yay, thank God. Did it again a little while later. And she did this for X amount of time. And she actually is told a story that how she felt when she went through the threshold, kind of like what you were saying this morning to me, Sheena. You feel the change, you feel the shift. That she actually felt the shift, and she kind of looked in the mirror and she just had nothing but absolute love for herself. Because this is a woman who was overweight usually, and she had polio as a kid, so there was a little bit of a limp. So all the time in her thoughts, beating herself up, her body produced whatever ALS. And that's something like we don't get cancer or Parkinson's. We have these diseases in us. It's when we're not at ease with ourselves that they kind of flare up. And it's a warning sign. Pay attention, have awareness here. So what this woman did, she had so much love for herself that it didn't matter anymore. And guess what? She healed herself. She's still alive to this day. She lives in upstate New York, and I guess she's finally writing a book about it. I would imagine she's probably in her 70s now, as if she was in her 30s and the 80s, whatever. I can't do the math that fast. Maybe in her late 60s, 70s, and writing a book finally. I'd love to read this book. I forget the woman's name, but it's a true story. I can find it out. But that's what self-love does. It will heal you. You're no longer looking outside of yourself at your problems or this or that. And I think it probably comes to a realization of that word, God, that God is within us. God is everywhere. Formless substance, infinite intelligence, divine love. I like divine love. I love the divine. The divine is always within us. And so that's how you heal yourself, when you stop judging yourself and start loving yourself. So, I came home that day and stared at myself in the mirror. When do we see other people? We see them when they're airbrushed, when they're out, there are the bikini contest. Look at most people. I don't know, Europeans, you have a better self-love for yourself with your body issues than we do here in America. But we grew up on Baywatch, looking at Pamela Anderson. Do we all know, Baywatch, that long blonde hair? So self-love, it's where it starts, no judgment. And you too can heal yourself, but more importantly, it's your mind. Love you because you're beautiful the way you are. Stop trying to heal, fix, or change ourselves. Just drop into the now, because you're always going to, if you're looking for shit, you're always going to find shit. You're always going to keep on turning rocks and finding that stuff. You will find something to complain or worry or, say, I'll be a victim about. Just drop into love right now, today, and love you where you stand and go, I am perfect. I am love. I am amazing. And let yourself heal. And when you heal, others heal around you. And that's going to bring world peace, not complaining about it. Okay, that's all I have today. Do you have anything to say? I'm sorry.
Because it is just love. But I know my journey on self-love, the times of looking at myself in the mirror and judging myself and like that. And then I remember when I started to like myself, and then I realized that there was no self, which is a really funny story, but we're not going into that right now. And I got really angry for about 6 months. I was so angry that there was no Sheena, and that blah, 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 blah. And you might be thinking, what the hell is she on about? Never mind about that. I'm just telling you part of my journey. Maybe we'll hear about that another time. And then when I really started to understand, just more and more and feel it, not mentally understand it, but really the information that we'd learned, it is starting to drop down and you're sort of going, oh, I see, I see, I see. And I realized that the only answer to everything is actually love. To what, no matter what problem that you've got, when you just drop into love, most of your problems actually go away, because if you loved yourself, anything else is attack. And you wouldn't attack yourself if you loved yourself. So just practice it, anytime anything happens in your life, just say to yourself, here's an opportunity for me to love me more. It couldn't matter if it's the worst thing that could ever happen. You stop and you say, this is an opportunity to love me more, because life is not against life. God is not against God, and everything is life. Everything is God. Everything is energy, and it's never against itself. How could it be? How could it be? So just say, this is an opportunity to love me more. I don't know why, but it is. And then eventually you will actually see, because trust me, I have looked back at even recent circumstances, and what I see is the opportunity to love me more. And I have seen the love grow out of these circumstances that is beyond, I just mentioned it, my children, to sit down with Connor and Shannon and to be in the love that we have been in the love with each other, that wouldn't have come out had things not happened. And
Yeah.
I am in complete appreciation and love. And I'm going to just do it more and more. I'm not going to wait for something to happen for me to love more and more. But I understand if something happens, then it is just an opportunity to love me more. Can you do that? Can you just at least give it a go? This is an opportunity to love me more.
And that's all we have. Like us, subscribe, tell your friend. If you really love this, share this out on your Facebook page. If there's one episode that really resonates with you, because how do you know that one word, one saying doesn't make a shift and a switch in somebody else's life? That's what we're here. We're not here for the ego part of it. We're just here to serve. I always hear that word, but it really is. It's sharing our wisdom, sharing our thoughts, just to help you grow. Ultimately, you're the one in the driver's seat. You're the one driving. We can't impress anything that we don't want into your brain without your awareness of it. So have a great day. We love you, and we'll see you soon.